Thank you very much. I'll be brief this morning. I had the chance to speak yesterday, and I prefer to listen rather than speak. Dear friends, we are gathered here today to talk about democracy in a changing world. I can think of no better place than the home of Pericles to reflect on the challenges and the opportunities of our time. For the first time since the end of the Cold War, liberal democracy is no longer regarded as the default model for politics in all countries, that all countries should aspire to. Given my own conviction, my conviction that the system of government most conducive to peace, sustainable development, rule of law, and respect for human rights is democracy, these are very worrying times indeed. The world is changing, and changing very fast. But are we changing? Are we adapting and trying to make governance more effective and focused on the concerns of the population? Yes, change can be unsettling and disorienting. People feel neglected by their political systems. They are tempted by populists who promise easy solutions to major problems such as globalization, climate change, international trade, or migration. But these false prophets will not only disappoint their voters, but actually jeopardize the liberal democratic system as well. Be as it may, polls tell us democratic aspirations are still strong throughout the world. People may be disaffected by their politicians, but they are more passionate than ever about politics. More importantly, the overwhelming majority of people around the world value the freedoms and the respect for rule of law and human rights that only liberal democracies can genuinely guarantee. But reform is essential. Reform is essential, and democracy cannot rest on its laurels. It is under pressure, and undemocratic leaders around the world are challenging it, and here is where democratic leaders must rise to the challenge and fight on. Over the course of the next few days, you will have ample opportunity to reflect on the threats besetting democracy today, whether post-truth, political discourse, fake news, flawed elections, or the misuse of social media. But I urge you to spend this precious time not only discussing democracy's current difficulties, but come up with solutions, as we heard from Achilles, come up with solutions that make our democracies more effective, inclusive, and therefore attractive. My foundation's Electoral Integrity Initiative would be happy to glean new ideas and insights from the bright minds that are assembled here today. The EII is a network of senior officials from leading democracy and election-related organizations, as well as a group of world leaders I have called upon to help shore up democracy through elections with integrity. As you ponder democracy, be inspired by this. It doesn't work? Okay. As you ponder democracy, be inspired by this unique city which over 2,000 years created a revolutionary system of government in which the free were the rulers, subservient only to the laws they themselves had passed. They called it democratia, literally the rule of the people. And that inspiration still resonates around the world today. I always say that when leaders fail to lead, the people will lead and make them follow. People like you, thinkers, journalists, civil society organizers, have more influence on politics than you can imagine. Use it and use it well. Let me leave you with two final thoughts. A leader must be a good listener, and a good leader must also be a good follower. On that note, let me declare open the 2017 Athens Democracy Forum. Thank you very much. This means that we need to make our democracies more inclusive and participatory. This requires bold and innovative reforms to bring the young, the poor, and minorities into the political system. An interesting idea put forward by one of the speakers here at this session, Mr. Raybrook, would be to reintroduce the ancient Greek practice of selecting parliaments by a lot instead of election. In other words, parliamentarians would no longer be nominated by political parties, but chosen at random for a limited term, in the same way that we select people to serve in the jury system. This would prevent the formation of self-serving and self-perpetuating political classes disconnected from their electorates, who only see them once every 4 years when they come to ask for their vote.